Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for mid-January 2022. We're going to just jump right in here and see what is going on for you. You have this fish card that says abundance and luck, and also this card that says nourishment and transformation on it. So clearly there could be a lot of luck in going through some sort of transformation. You are a Sagittarius, after all, which is, the Temperance card, which is a card of transforming a situation. And you could be transforming a negative situation in your life with this Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is kind of like a never-ending nightmare. It is a round and round situation. So if you are bringing a never-ending situation to an end, then I would say good for you. It looks like it's going to lead to a lot of luck. Look, you have this rabbit spirit that also says now is a lucky time. So clearly, it is a very abundant and lucky time for you right now, Sagittarius. Probably in multiple, areas of your life. I do get a lot of heart-based energy here. Literally, as I'm saying that, you get the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is a card of your heart, basically. She really values where she puts her heart. She really values the things that she puts her time, effort, and energy into, and she only puts her time, effort, and energy into things that she values. So, I feel it is a time for you to follow your heart, clearly, Sagittarius. You have the the High Priestess here. Definitely feel like a very watery energy here. Some of you could be attracting water sign. I mean, you have the Page of Cups to the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups. But what I would say is I don't really necessarily get love here. I think love is always available to us. I think this is more talking about following your heart. And the High Priestess also says, follow your intuition, obviously. So I feel like you need to follow what your intuition is telling you to do at this time, especially with that Page of Cups as well, because, I would say all three of those, but also Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups, because both cards kind of represent a dream or your dreams or whatever dreams you have, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but it could be saying there's like a lot of abundance in your dreams. You have the Nine of Swords, like trying to transform a negative situation. I do feel some of you are literally just kind of leaving behind a round type of thing that's been going on in your life, and you're just simply ready for something new. I feel like you're just ready for a change, ready to do different things, ready to kind of like move on with your life. You have the Three of Wands, which basically says, what are you waiting for? You imagine something better for your life going up to the Seven of Cups, right? The Seven of Cups says you're spoiled for choice. So it's like, I kind of feel like you've been imagining this, but it's like you're waiting for something to change that probably never will change with the Three of Wands, because, you actually have a lot of desert imagery here. You have this card and the Knight of Cups as well. Traditionally, he is looking off into the water, and it's like golden water. The story is that he maybe thinks that he's only looking at the desert where there's no opportunity. And it's not until he looks closer and he sees the ships that he realizes he's looking at water. He's looking at something where there's a lot of opportunity. Water right here. So I feel like there is a lot of opportunity in your emotions this week, or how you feel about, this, that, and the other thing. About everything. I would be following your emotions, clearly. With the High Priestess, you have the Lovers. So, all the tarot is always making me eat my words. Some of you could be attracting love into your life if you want it. Could also just be a choice, because the Lovers traditionally was like being at a crossroads. I would pick the more expansive choice that leads to, exploration. You have this exploration card right here. So, that's the direction I'd be moving in. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Judgment card. I do feel like you could be waking up to something that again, if you feel like you keep repeating a mistake, you could be receiving some answers or waking up to the thing where you're like realizing why or what is causing the same mistake over and over and over again in your life, if you happen to be doing that. I also feel like you could just be having a wake-up call, and I think we're going to get more details on that in just a minute. With the Three of Wands, you have the Justice card. Again, some of you could be waiting for someone to get their karma or something like that. I always tell people, don't expect karma. If you're like wishing that someone gets their karma, they're not going to get their karma, right? So we just have to let it go. And we just have to put energy into things that put energy into us. This could also be a legal decision, by the way, because you have the Justice card and the Judgment card together. So there could be a positive legal outcome if you happen to be dealing with a legal situation. You also have this Rabbit card that says now is a lucky time. Clearly, it is a lucky time. I feel like there could be a lot of abundance and success for you here, but it's going to come through following your heart, like I said. And that's exactly what I'd be doing. with this energy. I'm also getting creative projects as well. If you're working on any creative projects or anything like that, I feel there could be tons and tons of success in, the area of creative projects, businesses. Even if you're retired, you could be working on like something on the side as well. I want to see what the next card is. Also, you have this koala spirit. It says spirit has a plan. So I kind of feel like you're being guided as well. And it's probably through like your emotions. You have the Page of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Hermit. I really feel that things have not been perfect for you, Sagittarius. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. And I really feel you're kind of like laying a base for the next few years. I kind of think between now and April, you're going to be, it's kind of like you're starting a foundation, maybe for something new in your life or a new direction. And then once we get to April, it's like you're not done building the foundation, but at least I feel like you're going to feel like you're actually moving forward in April. Not that I think you're going to feel it now, as we get through this month into next month. But I really feel April is kind of like popping into my head as the month where you really kind of like notice a change. So I definitely like to see that. You do have the Page of Cups here, so could be new love coming in for you. Could be a water sign, could be a Virgo, could be a Taurus as well, or a Gemini or a Libra could be coming in for you. Those are the signs that stand out to me. But if you're looking for love, I feel you could be meeting a person. You're, of course, not going to find this person sitting at home on the couch with a hermit. You're going to have to get out in public and go meet people. But if you do that, I definitely feel there is love available to you. I also feel that some of you, it's like you've been through a dark night of the soul. I feel like you've been through a lot of difficulties and challenges. And again, the whole point of the hermit is that he has been through a dark night of the soul, and now he's coming out the other side and he's shining his inner light. But he kind of like needs to shine his inner light. That is the star that is in his lantern, but it's in the lantern. He's not, he's not letting it out. And I feel for some of you that this is saying you need to kind of let out one of your hidden talents, gifts, skills, or abilities, or you need to kind of reveal something that could lead to a lot of success for you with this energy. So that's what I'd be doing if I were you. With the Page of Cups, you have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is like slow movement. It would be an earth sign, so I kind of am even though you have all this water here, I am kind of leaning towards earth for you in love. So it could be an earth sign, but take it how it resonates. But I feel like this person's very slow. So, they might be wanting to take their time. You might be wanting to take your time as well, which is fine. I also would say that this is another card that's saying like it's time to get moving with the Three of Wands. Three of Wands kind of says, what are you waiting for? You have the Justice card. Justice is cause and effect. It's like if you don't know what next step to take in your life, take a tiny step. If it works, keep going. If it doesn't work, stop and do something different. Pretty simple. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. You have the Seven of Cups twice here. Again, number one, I would not go back to the past here. These cards don't really represent going back to the past, although the Judgment card can represent a person from the past coming back in. But I kind of feel this is like confusion. Two sevens, obviously, the Seven of Cups twice. It is a card of being spoiled for choice. And I personally like the Seven of Cups because, again, it's being spoiled for choice. But I feel like you have to make a decision. This reading is encouraging you to pick a path with that Three of Wands, right? It's encouraging you to get moving. With the Hermit, you have the Magician. Yeah, I feel like you're manifesting things very, very quickly here. I would also say that your focus is going to be important. Normally, on a traditional magician, he has the flowers in front of him. And it kind of represents the fact that he knows he has to focus on, like, joy, happiness, love, and good things so that he can actually manifest what he wants. So he knows he has to focus on the right stuff. And I kind of feel like that's what this is saying, this whole reading. It's like saying, I'm going to show you on this Seven of Cups because it's just easier to see. But there's like good things and bad things in these cups. And so with that Eight of Cups, it's kind of like saying, like, do you really need to go back? If you threw something out, right? When you bring your trash out to the side of the road, it's like, do you need to go back and dig around in your trash can to make sure that you didn't throw some trash away that you want? I don't know. I get that feeling where it's like some of you could be looking at something from the past. I don't know what it is. Could be a relationship, might not be. But it's like, do you really need to go rummaging through the trash is what I feel like saying. And I feel like saying, no, of course not. You don't need to do that. Everything you want is kind of, in the future here is what this reading is saying to me. So I would avoid that. I would avoid confusing yourself by thinking there's something in the past for you when there isn't. You have this card. Are you kidding? You have this card that says, follow your heart. Following your heart will lead you to the right things. What have we been talking about this whole entire time? This has happened like 20 times this week, where this card from this deck, whatever this deck is like basically mentioning the reading, which is crazy. You have this card that says you're exploring different potential paths to success. It does say here, too many interests is making it difficult to narrow it to just one. 7 of Cups, twice in your reading. So I feel like you really need to focus. I also feel like you need to listen to your heart. I feel like this is very important right now, just in general, collectively, because it's like I think our hearts are telling us to do one thing, but maybe society or the government is telling us to not do something that we want to do. So I feel like it's really important that you listen to your heart, like I said, that you listen to your inner voice and what your heart is encouraging you to do in all areas of your life, of course. You have the 7 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Hangman here. Too much confusion. Again, another symbol of the desert, like I said. Normally on a traditional Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups is standing in the desert, but there's water flowing in front of him. It kind of represents, again, just like the 3 of Wands, it represents the fact that if he were to plant seeds in front of that water there, they would grow. Whether he's in the desert or not, doesn't matter. There's water. So for some of you, again, it's like the environment that you're in might not look like it's good for, having a relationship or starting a business or whatever it is you want. It doesn't matter. But I feel like this is saying plant the seeds anyway. It's the only way you're going to find out whether or not something is going to work. I do also feel there could be like a knight in shining armor coming in for you. So there could be a really solid connection coming in here. You have the Hangman, which says you have everything you need. Another card of enlightenment. Just like the Hermit, he's got the star in his lantern. The Hangman, his head is glowing here. And it represents the fact that he has all the answers he needs. He's made a sacrifice. He sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs here, but he knows everything he needs to know now to get moving forward. He knows what he needs to know to start creating success in his life or, whatever it is that he wants. So he really needs to get moving. He needs to start, he needs to do what he wants to do here is basically what I'm trying to say. And you have the 7 of Cups again. There are always going to be reasons not to do things that you want to do, Sagittarius, but the 7 of Cups says you need to do it anyway, right? There are good things and bad things in these cups, and sometimes maybe we want a relationship, but maybe we're afraid of getting hurt. But it's like there's always the potential to get hurt is what I'm trying to spit out here, but there's also always the potential for good things to happen as well. It's like people always like to leave me comments and be like, everybody hurts me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care, but there's plenty of people where that doesn't happen, right? So it's like, yeah, if you're focusing on it, that's what you're going to get, plain and simple. But I'd be focusing on the good stuff. The other thing is, I always say to people always say that, they're like, I want love, but I don't want to get hurt. I'm like, well, then you don't want love. Because guess what? If you want love, then you are always risking getting hurt, right? It's just how it is. And really, I hate to say it, but tough love with Chris, I would just get over it, right? It's the whole entire point, especially if you want love. So people act like nobody gets hurt, right? They act like, oh, it's like this big deal. And yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, it happens to everyone, right? It's not special. It's not unique. With the 7 of Cups, you have the World card. Definitely, this is a big accomplishment. Whatever it is you want with that 7 of Cups, I would go for it. Clearly, it's going to be an accomplishment. It's going to lead to success. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Page of Wands here. Yeah, definitely could be a new person. I kind of feel like it could be a younger person as well. Or you could be the younger person. Take it how it resonates. There could be some sort of age gap I'm getting in this situation. I also feel like you need to start like a new adventure. I feel like this is true for everyone because of Pluto and Aquarius. Again, people keep saying you keep repeating yourself. I'm like, yeah, because there's like literally one thing that is like critically important for every single person on Earth. And that is to start something new that you feel inspired to do that can also inspire other people. I just summed it up in about 20 seconds for you there. And the reason I keep beating people over the head with it is because, I don't know, I think it's very important. It's like, I think we need to hear it, plain and simple. And if we do it, we're going to be very successful. If we don't, then, I don't know, your life will stay exactly the same. So I'd say, do you want your life to stay exactly the same? Maybe you do. Maybe your life is perfectly fine, right? But if it's not, if you even have this much belief that it could be just this much better, then I would go for it, plain and simple. With the Hangman, you have the 5 of Swords. Some of you definitely been hurt. There were a lot of disappointments, crying over spilled milk here. Some sort of love disappointment here. I feel like someone had a lot of secrets. It's like someone wanted you and only you, but they also wanted other people also. I know that might have sounded contradictory, but I feel like if you were in this situation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like they don't want you to be with other people, but they want to be with other people. I don't know. I'm getting like a weird situation here. So you could be healing from that situation, but I feel like there's something much better, obviously, coming in for you. Next, you have this water card. It says emotions are at their peak. I would like watch your emotions, but I also feel like we can channel our emotions and use them to do great things and to manifest things very quickly as well. So I would be using your powers of manifestation with your emotions, channeling positive emotions into the things that you want, and just completely ignoring the things that you don't want. And that's all I would do here is I would just completely ignore the things you don't want. You have the Hierophant, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Cups. Again, the Four of Cups really does say that you kind of have everything you need to get moving. Again, I always say that he's manifested these cups, but he's not accepting these cups into his life. But I always like to say that the Four of Cups as well, it's kind of like a card. If you want to bake a cake, he's manifested the flour, the sugar, the eggs, everything he needs, but he's not mixing them together. So it's almost like you have manifested the steps. You've manifested, some things that you need to move forward in your life, but I feel like it's about mixing the things together. I also feel like you're clearly going through a transformation, probably leveling up. The Hierophant, he has 3 levels to his crown, and they represent the 3 stages of initiation. They represent initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. And so I feel for some of you, you're kind of like leveling up to the next level here with the Hierophant energy. I also feel you need to think outside the box. Like, again, I get something about stuck thinking with the Seven of Cups, like thinking that everything only goes one way. And I think as long as you open up to other ways of things working out, then that's how things will work out for you. Again, I've proven to myself. Again, I can't prove it to you. You have to prove it to yourself. But I was like super negative. And when I was super negative in my life was super negative. All I did is started thinking more positively, which is free. People always challenge me on this, like it's some sort of scam. I'm like, well, it doesn't cost any money. I literally just told you how to do it. You just have to think positively. And you can say what you want, but I mean, it's like, I think my experience, other people's experiences, will prove you wrong if you say that it doesn't work, because it does, and it's free. Just try it, right? And I totally get it. It's like when I was miserable for 3.5 years of my life, the last thing I wanted was people to tell me to be positive. I wanted to punch those people, so I totally get it. But, I think it's worth a shot here. You have the Queen of Cups here as well. For some of you, I feel like, again, you need to follow your heart. Queen of Cups is my card of following your heart, of listening to what your feelings, your emotions tell you to do, and not listening to anything else. And again, I feel like that is critically important for pretty much everyone, because there's like a lot of noise right now just in general. And I feel like you need to drown out the noise and listen to what your heart is guiding you to do. The people that do that are going to be very successful. The people that don't are not, plain and simple. With the Hierophant, you have the Four Wands, marriage. Some of you, I'm telling you, if you're meeting new love, you could be married. You could marry this person. Probably not right now, obviously, but obviously these things take time, but really good for love if you're attracting new love in your life. If you already have love as well, I would say this is really good. You could be kind of taking the connection to a new level or leveling up in some way, but I would definitely be focusing on the new. I kind of feel like you could be attracting a person where you didn't think this type of person existed with that Knight of Cups, Page of Wands, but they do. So I would go for it. I would also say that this is like outside the box thinking. Sometimes I feel with the Hierophant that we have to think outside the box. Four Wands, a card of freedom. So I feel like part of being free is thinking outside the box, being able to, approach anything that you're dealing with in your life from a different perspective. With the Four of Cups, you have the Hierophant. Again, I would say, like, don't ignore this. If you have love coming into your life, and maybe you're afraid of getting hurt or whatever, but I don't know. This reading is kind of like saying to me that if there's a new person coming in, I would not ignore it. If I were you, could totally lead to everything that you want. But if you're closed off, guarded, and fearful, then obviously it's not going to go anywhere. So I would be careful of like missing out. Again, people always get mad at me when they're like, I don't want blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I don't care, right? But what I'm saying, for the people that do want it, right, here it is, right here, and I'm just saying I would be open to it. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Death card. Definitely going through a major transformation. Very simple reading as always. I think this reading is talking about going through a transformation, and this card right here said you have abundance, luck, nourishment, transformation. I literally feel you need to nourish the transformation that you're going through. Whatever change you're going through at this time, just nurture it, and I think you will grow, and it'll lead to a lot of success. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this a principle card here. I mean, this to me is the Hierophant energy. There's even like a Pope hat right here. And this is Jupiter and Sagittarius as well. So I feel like you are very expansive. But again, we have Neptune and Pisces right now. And I always say that Neptune and Pisces reminds me a lot of the Hierophant. That is not accurate. That is not accurate tarot. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the two energies are very similar. And what I would say is that with Neptune and Pisces, we have to challenge traditional belief. There might be certain rules that we have that are holding us back. There might be certain things that we believe that are preventing us from moving forward. I can't answer that question for you. You have to follow your heart and listen to your emotions. Are there things that you feel like you should do that you're resisting? That's what I'd be looking at. And I'd be moving. Are you kidding me? I'm going to pull an extra card because I feel like because I said the word resistance, you're getting this resistance card. I feel like you have to move past this resistance. You have this practicality card. Yeah, I do feel like things that are going to work in your life are just going to work, plain and simple is what this card is saying. It's like things that are meant to move forward quickly are going to move forward quickly. Things that aren't. Kind of makes a lot of sense to me based off the Mars retrograde, even though Mars will be direct at the week of the 16th. I think it's on the 19th is the exact day. It doesn't matter because it's going to take a long time for it to leave the shadow. But what I would say is, again, I would just follow those rules. Things that are meant to work are just going to work in all areas of your life. You have this protection card. Something's protected. I feel like it's you, right? And I also feel like you need to look at some sort of fears that you could have in your life, especially if you have some sort of dream to do something with your life, but you feel like you're looking at a desert. It's like, what is it a desert or is it actually resistance? Is there water flowing through this desert where you could create your own oasis is what this reading is saying. Now is a lucky time. Abundance, luck, rabbit, now is a lucky time. You have all this luck here, but you have to put in the work. You have this optimism card, a lot of reasons to be optimistic for you as well. So I feel like there's a lot of happiness or it could be. And finally, you have this lust card. Yeah, I think that's what you're trying to decide. Like if you're meeting a new person, are they just after my butt or are they after my something else? I don't know, my heart. What is the question, right? I don't know. So I feel like some of you are asking that question, but I do feel there's genuine love coming in here. So pretty interesting reading, pretty straightforward. I would nourish your transformation is what I'd say. Build your oasis as well. But thank you for being here, Sagittarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.